Thanks, everyone. Good morning, and happy 14th birthday for Broadcast Pro. So I'm very happy to be with you here today, as well as the panelists and the guests that we have, from an industry that's becoming more and more complicated and more hard to monetize content. So we have the esteemed guests that have extensive experience, some of them that I know for a very long time, and I dare to say friends as well. So I really appreciate being here on the panel with you. We can start it off. Do you want to say something about yourself, or no introduction needed, I guess?
Thank you so much, Raghida, and thank you for having us today. This is Zahra Zayyat, and I'm Chief Commercial Officer for eVision Aeon Life. Aeon Life is the lifestyle digital arm of Aeon Group, covering the Aeon Group footprint across Middle East, North Africa, Pakistan, and Central Eastern Europe. Good to see you all today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ramon Bello. Bello, actually, but after so many years in Middle East, I gave up on the pronunciation, so it's Bello. Bello is okay. I'm coming from Qatar, although you can see that probably my accent is not a Qatari one. I'm Spanish, but I have been here in the region for quite a long time. I'm responsible for the TV and media services in Ooredoo, Qatar, and I'm really happy to be here and share whatever insights I can share with you guys. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for inviting a French guy based in Paris to be here with you and see the sun, at least. I'm part of the strategy team of Bein Media Group, responsible for corporate strategy, but also very involved in growth revenue directions and OTT space. So I'm very happy to share with you some thoughts around this industry that is moving.
Thank you for inviting us to the panel. I really appreciate it. Fantastic to meet you all today. My name is William Page. I'm co-founder, Chief Strategy Officer and General Counsel for 1001 Alpha Wahed. We are predominantly focused on Iraq, which is an extremely difficult market, but we're growing very fast. We've had quite a few successes this year. We are very ambitious and continuing to see really strong growth in our home market. So yeah, fantastic to be on the panel, and I'm looking forward to our discussion.
Excellent, thank you. I have put the order of the questions based on how we're seated today. So I'm going to start with Zahra. So Zahra, E and Life, connection to telecom, is obviously offers a unique opportunity. So with the acquisition of Careem Everything, how do you see that e-commerce gives advantage to OTT?
So the acquisition of Careem, also the multiple acquisitions that E&, as a group has done, were strategically focused on building the strategy of E&More. And what E&More means is that we want to touch the lives of people across each and every aspect of their life, and hence the acquisition of Careem. So beyond the telecom services and the mobile and the data services, it is important that when we are competing on each and every aspect of people's life. We're competing on people's time. We're competing on people's preferences, from booking their cab to ordering their groceries, or ordering their food deliveries, or watching their favorite entertainment, but also closing the loop through our fintech apps. So also we've got the Wio Bank and we've got the Aeon Money. This allows us to be available and present in people's life through every step of their journey throughout the day. Now, Careem's acquisition and also all of the digital apps and the ecosystem that we have built together has allowed us to unlock synergies between all of those different assets. So as Careem, for example, have access to so many different restaurants, the entertainment arm also offers public viewing entertainment to all of those restaurants. On the other way, the entertainment arm also unlocks partnerships to Careem in order to expand their food delivery services and their partnerships in the F&B and the hospitality ecosystem. So all of these synergies come together. Now, on the content monetization and on the entertainment, where we saw the convergence of e-commerce and content, is through the announcement of the partnership that we just announced yesterday. I take this opportunity to put more light on it. We saw an opportunity in the market to bridge e-commerce and entertainment. We've got to do something different, and we've got to create ways to monetize content better. And this is where the idea of building e-commerce on top of entertainment came into play. We looked into the key changes in the industry and key global changes that are happening around us and that have a profound impact on the way we do business. No longer are we in a business where we just throw content and optimize product and optimize marketing and then depend on government money to subsidize the business. This is not going to happen anymore, and that's the case for almost everyone. Most of the streaming services are actually burning cash. So what are other monetization opportunities that we can build? We leverage the use of AI. And the AI tools that we've developed allow us to the AI tool that we've built allows to scan the different products that are available on the TV shows, on screen, on the series and the movies, and then create a lookalike and integrate with the multiple e-commerce platforms. This lookalike will extract the different products from the e-commerce platforms and pushes it on screen for viewers and users to shop their favorite products while watching their shows, add to their basket, and execute the payment. This partnership was announced yesterday with Trendyol. The product is going to be rolled out very soon. But within that, we are revamping the retail experience. We will build additional monetization opportunities on the platform so that we create an end-to-end ecosystem, leveraging entertainment and reach, allowing people to benefit by buying different products, whether it's fashion, electronics, lifestyle, whatever it is, and also add the multiple monetization opportunities on top.
This is fantastic news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I actually saw the announcement yesterday. Just as a follow-up on this, I think it's a very exciting product that you're adding to the overall offering. But so you mentioned that this will help monetization. Are you looking at it from a revenue, point that it would really help monetization, or more of like a stickiness, more stickiness to the customer and providing them with something, new and exciting?
It's actually both. Surprisingly, when people actually add items to their basket, whatever it is, they spend on average 18 minutes just reviewing their shopping basket before they actually execute a purchase. And then they walk out and then they come in again and they re-look into their shopping basket before executing a buy. So the stickiness actually goes both ways, and each model and each vertical feeds into the other. So definitely content needs to be robust, but what we're saying here is that content alone will not be enough to pay the bills. In fact, what we do is we leverage the sales that are made on e-commerce. We take also definitely a percentage of the shopping basket because we're driving the sales. We know more about customers and their shopping behavior, not only their viewing behavior, but their shopping behavior, their payment behavior, the success of their payment, their pocket size, their credit risk scoring, maybe later. And it allows us also to leverage this data to also monetize across many, many different other verticals. So the game is not only on engagement, but it's so many different other verticals that it will unlock.
100%. Ramon, for Ooredoo Qatar, how does Ooredoo, the telecom side of Ooredoo, help enhancing the viewership, the retention, the whole experience of Ooredoo TV? So how much value, being a telecom and providing also content, bring to each other?
Well, how we see it in Ooredoo Qatar specifically is that we are a provider of connectivity first. I know it sounds a little bit legacy, but eventually I believe that our customers very much appreciate that. And what we must make sure is that we provide connectivity that is working continuously and seamlessly. On top of that, obviously, we understand that the customers are using connectivity for something else. And what we want is to bring those customers something beyond connectivity. That is entertainment or anything that has to do with digital lifestyle. By the way, the vision of Ooredoo is precisely that one, is enrich people's digital lives, right? So how we see it is we leverage content and specifically related to this, probably this session, OTT and video streaming services on top of the connectivity. We can be qualified clearly as aggressive bundlers, or what we want to be called preferably super aggregators. That sounds fancier. But what we do is we try to maximize customer lifetime value. We do not care that much about how, but for us what is important is that eventually lifetime value of our customers grow in whichever way. And specifically when it comes to content, what we do and what we have been doing for as far as I can remember, is bundle content. When it comes to video streaming services, I remember when first video streaming services came into the picture some years ago, there was the discussion about, are those competitors, are those partners, are those... So from the very beginning, we decided that video streaming services, same as any other shape of content, it's just a partner, a potential partner. We aggregate content from multiple sources, whether it's linear, I don't know what is linear anymore, but linear, let's call it traditional linear TV, whether it's on-demand content, streaming, through satellite, through OTT, we don't really care that much. That's not applicable only to fixed services, that is where Ooredoo TV sits, but even to mobile services. We bundle third-party content with our mobile services. So in the short term, probably what we want to improve is churn or retention, but goes a little bit beyond that, okay? We believe that we can monetize that in the long term. What we have seen as well is that the more the customers use that content through us, the more that we can understand what they are doing, and in some way, as the vision is doing, we can go beyond what is traditional entertainment, video, and go through other adjacencies, that is perhaps gaming, perhaps e-commerce, perhaps e-learning, e-health, etc., because we understand much better our customers, the habits. But definitely, I could say that for Ooredoo Qatar, content is a key pillar of our maximization of customer lifetime value.
Excellent. And from the many different strategies that you have applied in terms of joining the telecom side and the content side, what has been proven most effective, whether it's bundling or something else. So what is the thing that you have seen succeed the most, basically?
First, allow me to start saying that we do not sell TV services per se. We sell triple play, again, in line with our customer lifetime value maximization. And hence, the bundling has proven itself as extremely effective. Our ARPU on the high-end packs where we bundle more content is always higher, the churn is lower. So it's definitely something that we see that is working. That said, I mean, all depends on the market dynamics. Competitors are being very aggressive on the low tier, so we need to figure out a way of still being relevant to that, let's say, at affordable prices. We have played around with other models, but like, for instance, data-free packs or free data for certain streaming services or bundles. But the thing is that we offer unlimited data for practically all our packs. All the mobile packs are having unlimited data. So there is no so much room for leveraging free data model. The other thing that we have explored is exclusivity. Exclusivity is something that, in terms of maximization of customer lifetime value, can be used. Exclusivity is something very peculiar. You need to be very good at doing exclusivity, otherwise it's really expensive and it's not fulfilling the, let's say, the objective or the. So what we try to do is, if we use exclusivity as a tool, we use it on the telco space. Once again, we are a telco, we provide connectivity. Media providers are not competitors of ours, they are partners. We don't compete with OSN, we don't compete with the Stars, we don't compete with NBC, they are partners. If our customers are using Shahid or Stars On or OSN Plus with our fiber, we are very happy. If they are watching that in our set-top box, we are very happy. So exclusivity is something that we use only in cases of telco exclusivity, and very, very sporadically, because it's not something easy to monetize. That's our experience.
Excellent, thank you. Hugh, I think you have a very unique model as well. Usually, platforms go from entertainment, offering entertainment, to sports. I think you did it the other way around. So what's the impact of adding entertainment for you and for the company?
It's true that sports broadcasting is a tough job. It's a tough market. You don't own your IP. You participate to multiple tenders. You need to refresh and challenge all the time your content. You need to develop a relationship with multiple leagues. And despite long-lasting relationships, sometimes you are challenged by outsiders. You have noticed that. But at the same time, sports provides you with the more unique moments and passion and communion moments on earth. World Cup 2022 is a good example of that. But I think that despite all of those great moments, it's better to grow backed on some IP that you own. And I think that groups here in the regions, like beIN, are very legitimate to build stories that resonate with the local culture, local viewership, but also are very respectful of the principles of a region, which some giants are not able to do quite well. And therefore, we have launched Todd Studio as a label and started to produce our own Turkish and Arabic series that we have available on Todd, but also on our linear channels. And we see some uptake and more engagement on those content. And indeed, entertainment is also a very good retention plan.
Sure. It helps for stickiness and retention. So one of the things that we've seen, I think globally, is that the sports rights holders maybe are now looking at selling sports to, specific countries as opposed to regions. So do you think this is something that will affect us or will, start happening in this region? And how would that affect your strategy?
I would say that in theory, for a league, the best outcome should be to organize competition in every single territory where you have some content available. But it's logistically, it's very difficult, it takes time and energy, etc. And another trend that we have noticed is global giants have started to do worldwide deals, which is another trend, which is the opposite, the total opposite, which gives to leagues some vision, time to develop themselves, etc. But what we notice is that mostly it happened in the US. And the reason why such giants went to global deals was to secure the US viewership, because for such properties, the large majority of the viewership is based in the US, not abroad. So I don't think that this trend will expand to other regions. But I think somehow that having built through investment step by step a very large scale as beIN has now, makes beIN the most reliable and the best partner for such leagues, because we can provide with offers that cover a large geography, and for some of the leagues is very, very, very positive. But at the same time, we also challenge ourselves constantly, region by region with our offering, and we target specific leagues that have an appeal for a single country. For example, in France, we buy handball because it resonates very well in France, but solely there. So it's really a gray zone, and what we try to be the larger partner, but also very niche-oriented for the ROI as well.
Sure. Zahra, do you have any comments on the question about, because you have also started in sports with Stars Play, so do you see that this trend is going to move to this region? Do you think this is going to be beneficial for for you and others, or it's going to be more negative?
No, I don't think it's negative. The idea here is that, as we know, sports creates the urgency for customers and for users to watch live. And this urgency drives subscription. And that's the urgency that entertainment content is not capable of creating. Obviously, it boosts acquisitions. It reduces your cost of acquisition as well per customer. But we can sit and actually preach about beautiful stories that sports increases subscriptions, and people come for sports and stay for entertainment. But I would challenge that. And I would ask you that question on the drop-off after sports. We all see drop-off, it's a fact. I don't believe the story that people who come on sports will stay. There are definitely multiple strategies that we can follow to keep the stickiness of customers and help monetize them better by bridging and offering them multiple services. So for us as a telco, yes, we can, for example, offer the sports as an annual pack instead of individual pack. You offer it as an individual pack, you lose the customer the next month or the month after if he forgot to unsubscribe. Also, we monetize through advertising and sponsorships and subscriptions, etc. So these are all business as usual. But the drop-off that happens after sports is very difficult to manage. And from our side, we try to bridge it by offering other value-added services. So we offer them e-commerce services, we offer them data, we offer them discounts on bundles, etc. So this allows to sort of keep the stickiness of the customer. The idea here, and from our side, if we are starting at X, and with the sports event, we are moving from X to 3X, after the sports event, we have to land minimum at 2X. But it is not acceptable that we go back into our initial state before sports. That's why we're very selective on the kind of sports acquisitions. We don't do crazy things. It is very hard to say no sometimes, but being prepared to walk out when it doesn't make sense is a skill, and I think we did that when needed. And then we focused our direct acquisitions on sports that make sense in the market and where we were able to prove a good return on investment.
Excellent, thank you. Dr. William, congratulations on the PhD. I wanted to check with you, 1001 have a very specific model that is new, that's more like a kind of a super aggregator, in Iraq. And I want to check on how do you manage the strategy and the monetization of the content, given that you have so many different models, so many different content, so many different pricing, from each one of your suppliers, or whether you acquire the content yourself. So that must be a very difficult task. So, we'd appreciate some insights.
Yeah, it is very difficult. So I'm not sure if the audience are aware, but Iraq is a very, very tough market. As background information, piracy in Iraq is frankly off the charts. It's every major ISP, not every, but nearly every major ISP has an illegal platform that shows content of everyone on this panel. That's just a fact. So that's who we're competing with. Now, we are lobbying the government extremely hard with our partners, pretty much everyone on this panel and other people as well, to introduce legislation to stop this piracy and to try to bring Iraq to the rest of the region in terms of content. So that's the backdrop. So it's extremely hard for us to operate in a market where everything is free. Thankfully, it's changing. Some of the ISPs, such as Supercell, are very forward-thinking. They've done deals with us. They've done deals with Shahed. They understand that they need to legalize how they show content. So that's the backdrop. In terms of our monetization strategy, it's extremely difficult. So our approach has been from the get-go that this is a problem that we are all facing in that market. So rather than us trying to individually grow the market, which is very, very hard, what we need to do is provide a proposition that is so powerful, so straightforward, and provides such good value for money to users that it's a no-brainer for them to say yes. So with that as background, what we've done is we've signed deals with Todd and BN, we've signed deals with Stars Play, we've signed deals with OSN, we've signed deals with Ratana, plus a number of direct deals. So the reason we've been able to do those deals is because every one of our partners understands Iraq has the potential to be one of the biggest markets in this region. But the only way that we're going to break that market, the only way we're going to stop piracy is by working together. So that's what we've done. We provide a D2C and a D2B pricing. Our D2C is, I admit, a little bit expensive, but that's because we are heavily discounting our D2B pricing. And our D2B pricing is based on partnerships with ISPs and telcos. So what we do is we say to an ISP and telco, take a 1001 subscription. We will do all the back-end technical integration work. We will provide a single sign-on for the users so that the user can log in. they can log into Alpha Wahed 1001. We're supported by the biggest broadcaster in the country, Al Shakir, so we have a large library of our own. They can see our content, they can see Stars Play's content and Rotana's content on our app. And then what those users also get is access to Todd, the premium, some of the best sports in the world that Todd and beIN carry, and OSM Plus, which obviously has some fantastic shows. So we offer phenomenal value for money to the users and to our B2B partners. And the final answer to your question, frankly, we share the pie, okay? So I'm not going to go into the specifics, but for every subscription that we get, we give a cut to our partners, so our partners know exactly what revenue they're getting. We have a dashboard that gives our partners full access, so Todd and beIN know exactly how many activations they've got from our market. And so far, we've been working with Todd and beIN for a few months, and so far the signs are really positive. But the point is, only through working together can we fight piracy and legalize and potentially make what is one of the most lucrative markets in this region achieve its potential. So that's kind of the background.
Excellent. One thing also about 1001 that's impressive is that how you've been able to work with the platforms that are not licensed in Iraq, for example, and kind of, slowly convert them to a paying model or monetize them, which I think, is fantastic. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to just ask a question, and I would appreciate if each one of you let me know what they think on if there's one thing that you would pick that has worked the best in terms of, monetizing what you have today. What would that one thing be, and why? So anyone can answer.
Well, I'm sorry, just repeating myself, but once again,
Sponsors.
coming back, yes, indeed, just offering abroad. By the way, just if you allow me, what Dr. William is saying is, I don't believe it's specific to Iraq. What he's saying, achieving the single sign-on, multiple content in one single place, simplifying customer life in terms of signing in, signing up, having one relationship, I think that at least we would like to have. That's our ambition, that is not just showing content to customers and bringing as much content as possible, is simplifying, on the one hand side, the sign-up, and beyond that, the discovery of the content. That's another battle where is there a place, or can you build a place where customers will find all the content without requiring to go to multiple platforms? So what I could pick in our case is offering content and simplifying customers' lives. In our case is you pay to Ooredoo. You don't need to have a single relationship with each one of the partners. You want to SM Plus, you come to Ooredoo. You have Ooredoo, by the way, in some of the cases is for free, and that's working fantastically. Before the customer thinks about churning and going to competitor, they will think, oh, hey, I have a relationship already with Ooredoo. Why should I change that for 50 reals or whatever? In our case, it works very well.
Okay, excellent. Luke, I think you wanted to say something?
No, I just want to say that indeed B2B sales and partnerships are very important to the growth of our activities, and we are very thankful to the partners that are delivering Todd today and the future ones. But on the DTC side, I would say that we need to listen to the customer and segment the customer in an appropriate way to provide with flexibility. And what we start on the DTC side is say, for now, we provide the same content to everyone, but we provide with a different level of quality depending on the affordability of the people. So we have mobile pass only, HD, but also 4K experience. We play on duration, dailies, monthly, annually. So it's very classic, I would say, but we listen to the segmentation, we use data, and we try to target our marketing as accurately as possible to reach out to the good segments. And I think that the future of OTT or digital is essentially that. It's mixing data that you retrieve and interactivity with your customer to fine-tune and either continuously improve the value that you provide to your customer. And I think also that this will be also the beginning of some what we call internally platformization, when we mix, and as you explained earlier, services, e-commerce, entertainment, all together in a digital space and a hub that we will all provide with added value to the customer together. But the logic behind this is, as you said, which is very important to combat fraud and piracy. Because this is the only condition to make money out of it. Otherwise, it's pointless. I think this is very, very important.
Sure.
From our side, if I'm to pick one thing to focus on, and one thing that would create value is being futuristic in the way we monetize data. And data, I'm not talking about internet data, I'm talking about unlocking the value of data that we are sitting on, data monetization. If we're sitting on so many digital assets, that's a lot of customer data. So the idea here is how can we create this data hub that integrates data points from all of those digital assets in one basket, one safe basket, obviously with a lot of encryption in relation to that data to preserve customer data. But when you have that customer base sitting on these different assets and you're integrating it under one umbrella, you're able to see that Mr. X works in that space, has an income of this much. That's his shopping behavior. That's his viewing behavior. This is the kind of products that he purchases, and so on. And then that's how he pays, and that's his pocket size. Bridging and matching that data from the different services is very, very powerful. And that's how we unlock the value of data. Apart from that, everything is business as usual. Yes, you can sell subscriptions, you can monetize through ads, you can book your taxis. This is all business as usual. But how can you unlock the value of data and make it available for sale in a safe way, of course, through specific targeting, through upselling, vertical and horizontal selling as well is key to unlocking additional ways to monetize.
So data is so powerful. I agree with you 100%. And I guess it's easier to collect data than, to read and understand data and know what to do with the data. So what does eVision, approach to that data that's collected? Like, how do you benefit from it to feed other services?
We benefit through multiple ways, because this is a standalone business, actually, and it doesn't only cover our assets. Actually, it integrates with retail media networks, with the Carrefours, with MAF, with Choitram, with so many different industries that we are able to create a match in that safe environment. So if I'm collecting data from Carrefour and that same customer or same email ID or same mobile number is available with me on other assets, and I'm able to create that match, then I'm able to understand everything about the full life cycle and the full journey of that customer. How do you monetize it? Through in a safe way, obviously, and by encrypting it, you can push it to Meta to, for example, facilitate your acquisitions, reduce your acquisition cost, because then you are able to segment customers properly. You're moving from probabilistic data into deterministic data, because you are able to reach exactly the same customer, the exact customer that you want to reach, And this is not only through advertisement, but also through the other products that he might be interested in. So it works for us, it works for other companies as well. But this is how the agency business should transform. That's the future of these services.
Okay, thanks, Zahra. I think another question, I would like to address it to Dr. William, but please, it would be great to get your views as well, which is the, ad-supported model versus subscription. So how do you, you're going to AVOD, so basically between AVOD and SVOD, how do you balance the revenue, and how do you make sure you maximize the monetization?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough in Iraq because the AVOD market is still in its infancy. So what you try to do is you try to make the advertising as specific as you can to the content, and because by doing so, if you segment your audience properly, then they are going to have a closer and more interested alignment with the advertising that you see. So we use AVOD as a entry-level point as well in order to get people into the subscription. But I think fundamentally, just to build on what some of the other panelists have said, I think fundamentally we need to change our perception of how we view OTT. We need to recognize that there isn't one rule or one way that fits all. It has to be a combination of blended rates, SVOD and AVOD, some freemium, different monetization strategies in order to effect. And also, secondly, we've got to stop viewing ourselves purely. I mean, what Zahra said about eVision is a really smart approach. We've got to stop seeing ourselves as purely an OTT or VOD platform. We've got to see ourselves as OTT plus. Esports, e-gaming, e-commerce, what else can we do to provide the user with the best experience? And how we monetize that will depend on the users, it will depend on the content, it will depend on the advertising. There are a whole range of ways that we can monetize, but we have to have that flexibility, we have to be varied, and we have to be open to innovation. And I think that's the critical thing that a lot of VOD platforms forget about. They're so fixated on subscriptions, and they don't realize that actually there's a lot of other ways that you can monetize and provide your users with more value and a better experience.
You guys want to make any parting concluding remarks on this thing? If you all had 30, if you had 30 seconds each to say something about, where the monetization of content is headed in the streaming business. Is there something more that you all would like to add? Zahra, we'll start with you. I always like to start with women.
30 seconds, one-stop shop for all things entertainment, all things digital lifestyle, data monetization. Less than 30 seconds.
Ramon?
Well, I would say partnerships. What I see is that same as in other industries, eventually we need to leverage partnerships in order to all win, not just compete among us.
Og?
My two cent thought is do interact with your customer as much as possible. Should they be partners, B2B partners or individuals, and use data as much as you can.
William?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. You need to be open, experimental in terms of different business models. I think everything everyone said I totally agree with. And just see yourself from a monetization point of view of being more than just an OTT platform, which I think we've all alluded to, and have a partnership, collaborative approach to your markets.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Raghida. Well moderated. Thank you very much, guys.